Anyway, to cut a long story short, I ended up buying Fretboard Theory 1, and Dizzy had put together a whole range of videos to accompany each chapter, which really made the whole thing so much easier to understand. There is nothing quite like visual learning. And the one thing that came about through that was an understanding that if you base all your learning on the use of diagrams and charts, then music, which is essentially all about hearing and listening, you're leaving so much of that behind. Anyway, after getting Fretboard Theory 1, I'd made the jump straight ahead into the section on modes, but was so transformed with the way I was looking at things by the way Desi taught, that I actually then went back to chapter 1 and started from the beginning. And boy, each day was a breath of fresh air. This is not like going back to school, because you have an interest in what you're doing, and music is something special, and I'm sure we all understand that. So in going back to chapter 1, I was then able to follow each of the stages that he takes you through in getting to know your fretboard. Often when you learn about theory, music theory, you are taught in a way where it's really hard to apply what you've learnt in each section to your own playing. But one of the things I love about the way Desi structures his books, he'll take you through a section and teach you certain information about your fretboard and the theory behind it, but then he'll go through a list of songs that help you see how that theory and that knowledge has been applied by a range of different musicians and artists in some very, very well-known songs you've heard. And so if you're one of those people that wants to have a broad base of songs which you're learning, that information that Desi provides will help you not only do that, but will help you understand the techniques that are being used and why they're being used and how they're being used in each of those songs, and that helps you build your own repertoire in a way that's meaningful to you and is meaningful in the way you play. In other words, each of those songs has parts of a recipe which you can take and play your own, but at the same time you're not being restricted by a pentatonic pattern that is going to limit you to one place on the guitar for reasons that you're not actually sure about, and that is really so important. The other thing I want to share too is that what makes Desi so different in two specific areas is that, one, he is a damn good teacher. You got questions, you talk to him, you send him your questions, and he's there for you. And that is hugely important. Trying to learn out of just a book, or even with the fantastic use of videos, it's not enough. There'll always be one or two things that you want to understand, and Desi is there for you. And really that's the second thing about that I've come to learn about Desi. He's actually become, over the last 4 years, a friend. And that's something special in music, because you're getting into being able to get knowledge from somebody that is very good at what they do, who's a natural teacher, and also he wants you to enjoy the music and the enjoyment that he gets out of it. What I would encourage anyone to do that's interested in playing music and making it your own, especially if you're interested in improvising, is getting to know this. You got to know your fretboard, and chord diagrams and scale diagrams and learning endless pictures for each of the different scales is not where it's at. That is hard work. When you understand a starting point, a particular note, and where to take the scale from there in each of the intervals, you can apply it all over the fretboard. Whether you've got an acoustic, which has just got 12 frets, or you go beyond the 12 frets on an electric, hey, it's just so much easier, and it helps you make your mark on the music you play. And I guess for me, the single most important thing, apart from having Desi as a friend, is that it's really helped make or allowed me to stamp how I feel and who I am on the music I play.